C'est la boo, everybody, and welcome back to the HabWrap. I'm your host, Harry Rice. You are listening to the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything Montreal Canadiens related. And today, we had a game, the first of a back-to-back. We are playing again, by the time you're listening to this, today, but technically tonight as I'm recording this, we played the first half of a back-to-back in Nashville tomorrow, or today probably when you're listening to this. We are playing in Carolina. That's right. We've got a double Southern game for y'all. So yeah, we played Nashville, and also something very fun to mention as well. Owen Protz has signed his ELC with the Montreal Canadiens, a big boy defenseman. He's not huge. He's 6'2", 207 pounds. This is a kid that is not afraid to throw the body. He had 84 penalty minutes in 64 games. He has some violent hits. And for the Canadiens fans who were around during the time of Alexei Emelin, that's what you can expect, is a big throw the body, don't give a shit about your own health type defenseman. Owen Protz should be that type of defenseman, should his skill level translate to the NHL. Hopefully it can. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'm a big believer in Owen Protz. I think he could be a very good third pairing defenseman. Should he make the NHL, which I have no reason to believe he shouldn't. Yeah, I don't think he gets games this year unless we clinch the playoffs and want to give guys like Reinbacher, Engstrom, Protz, Florian Jacki, like some call-ups, assuming Laval is also clinched a playoff spot. But given they are much closer to clinching than Montreal, I'd imagine they wouldn't mind that. So depending on how many games are left, don't be surprised if Protz maybe gets a game or two with the Canadiens. I don't think he necessarily will. I think this is probably just to make sure he gets into Laval's lines soon. However, I would like to see him in a game or two. I would also like to see Bryce Pickford, given he signed his ELC, but unfortunately his ELC, I believe, does only start next year. He is on a tryout level with Laval, or it's basically confirmed he's going to be on a tryout with Laval once his season in the W ends, which, by the way, just a phenomenal season for Bryce Pickford. He should also be a very nice bottom pair defenseman, at the very least, should he make the NHL. So, yeah, enough about the future. Let's talk about the present, or I guess now technically is the past. This is the game that's philosophical on your ass. But yeah, the game that was played tonight, I will say, because this is when I'm recording it, the game against the Predators. So the Canadiens, every game for the next little while is kind of a must-win, especially because of how tight the playoffs are, or the playoff races. If we lose tonight, for example, we are only up by 3 points, but if we are able to get the win, we're 5 points up on Columbus, who's the second wild card, up 6 points on Detroit, who did win their last game, and Ottawa, who did lose their last game, so that is huge. The Senators did lose tonight. The Red Wings, I believe, also lost tonight, which actually, okay, so that's not even completely updated then. No, I think the Red Wings... No, sorry. As I'm recording this, the Red Wings are down 3-0 to the Flyers, so they technically did win their last game, but as of recording, like I said, they are down to the Flyers, so the Flyers not only ruining their tank, also helping us out. You gotta love to see that. Thank you, Flyers. I'm glad that we are, you can help us out and we don't have to provide anything to you in return. So yeah, the game against the Predators tonight, the Preds, who are also in a race of their own, by the way, they are currently in the second wildcard spot, up by a point on the LA Kings, who did win their last game. They've been getting points any way possible. They're 4-2-4 in their last 10. The Predators are 6-3-1, so they're really want to win this game. Any bit of leeway you can get, especially in the Western Conference, especially right now, go for it. You can get it. The East is getting pretty tough, but the wild card in the West, from the second wild card to seventh out of the playoffs, is about a 4-point split. So winning one or two games could be the difference between being seventh, between being the second wild card and being seventh in the West out of the playoffs, which is just insane. So a big game for both teams. We'll see who shows up. We'll see if both teams show up. Spoiler, either way, it was a very fun game for both teams. It was a very entertaining game. One of the best games of the year, in my opinion, so far. So yeah, enough dilly-dallying. We were already 5 minutes in. I've got 12 pages of notes to get through. The opening lines for the Canadiens were Caufield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Newhook, Kapanen, Demidov, Bolduc, Evans, Anderson, and Veleno, Danault, Gallagher. Blue line, Matheson, Dobson, Struble, Hudson, Goulet, Carrier. Jacob Fowler gets the start in net. You might be thinking, oh, why are they going Fowler over Dobesh? Again, back-to-back. Dobesh plays tomorrow against the Carolina Hurricanes. Spoiler, slightly, Fowler had a very solid game, even though it did not start out that way. Well, you'll see why soon. Don't panic. But Jacob Fowler does get the start, and Dobesh backs him up. Obviously, he will get the start tomorrow. The opening lines for the Predators were Stamkos, O'Reilly, Evangelista, Forsberg, Wood, Marchessault, Lamoureux, Howla, Jost, and Schaefer with Weisblatt. Svechkov, I believe, was out of the lineup. They would actually go with 7 defensemen. It was Shea, Josie, as I put in my notes, Hagwoo, but Haig, Wilsby, Perbix, Alfco, and Justin Barron, the former Montreal Canadien, is the 7th D. I don't think he played much at all. I think he got, if I remember correctly, like 8 minutes of ice time. No, he actually got 14. Surprisingly, Alfco, who I noticed a lot more than Barron tonight, only had 10 minutes of ice time. So, also, no, looking at the notes, Svechkov was playing tonight. The man that was out of the lineup, surprisingly, was Weisblatt, actually. Weisblatt was the man out of the lineup, despite the fact that I could have sworn I saw his name on the ice once or twice tonight. So, that's weird. But yeah, no, unfortunately, it was Ozzy Weisblatt out of the lineup. I say that because I do like Ozzy Weisblatt, even though he is a little bit of a rat. Admittedly glad he didn't play against the Canadiens, but I like Ozzy Weisblatt. Would love to see him on the team. Him or Lamoureux, preferably Weisblatt, because at least Weisblatt doesnst take god-awful penalties at very crucial times. So yeah, foreshadowing. Ooh, I'm an expert at writing. UC Saros does get the start in net for the Predators, obviously. And Justus Annunen continues to back him up. In the first period, there's a Dobson turnover. Fowler looks so calm as he readies for the shot. Dobson has the turnover, and it's not a shit, I gotta make save. It's all right, turnover. Where's the save? Or where's the shot gonna be? Dobson, Fowler, and even the man himself said it now. He is so calm the way Carey Price was. Carey Price was on a podcast, I believe the Never Offside podcast, if I remember correctly, and he was talking about how he sees so much of Price when he was at that age in Jacob Fowler, which high praise from quite possibly the best goaltender in Montreal Canadiens franchise history. It's definitely top 3. We shall see. Might be top 4 by the time Fowler's career is done, which I'm sure he would not mind that whatsoever with Carey Price. So yeah, Fowler looks calm early on. The Preds do keep the Habs hemmed in for a moment. There's a second line press. Demidov at the side of the net tries to gather a rebound, but it gets held. Caufield, Carrier and Evans, take a few hits. Preds were out early. They were ready for a grind, which is kind of what the game would actually end up being. Was a little bit of a grind. It was a lot of offensive chances, but there was some physicality, there was some grittiness to the game, and we will talk about that. Gallagher with some good speed to a puck. Veleno's shot ends up hitting Danault. Gallagher gets held up, so a pass to him ends up being wide. There's a battle for the puck at the line. Slav comes in on a break, and Saros with a very good glove to make the save. The Slav stick gets slashed out of his hands. There's no call. Habs rush, but there's a turnover. A 2-on-1. Demidov goes to Newhook, who tries to go back, and it hops over the stick. Rotten luck for the Canadiens there. The puck gets in the slot for Kapanen, and the high shot is saved again by Saros. Could potentially be 2-0 Canadiens already. And Saros showing why he's still one of the best goalies in the NHL, even though the stats sometimes do not say the full story. Preds get called for an icing after a look for Caufield. Newhook has a hold at the line, but the Preds do get the turnover. Dobson with really good defense on a rushing Forsberg, just good to poke the puck loose. Does not try to go one-on-one with Forsberg. Just get it out of here. Don't you dare, Forsberg. You suck, quite frankly. You suck. Dobson just yelling at Forsberg, you suck! Shout out the trumpet man. The shots are 7-1 Canadiens at the half. There's a Preds pass, and Lemereau's shot goes off the post. It sounded like it might have been a save, but Canadiens were on the Predators early so far. There's a good turnover. Gets given to Demidov. He's in on a rush. There's a shot, and he scores. Ivan Demidov with his 16th of the year off the rush, goes far side, it's off the post and gets in. Canadiens take the lead with 8:26 left. Demidov scores from Nick Suzuki, who had a very solid game tonight. And just like that, Canadiens take the lead. They've been pressing, and they're able to get one that they needed. Hell yeah. The Habs cycle looking for the 2-goal lead. Evangelista off a rush has a shot blockered away and out of play. Habs with some good D when the Preds try to press. Always someone there at the line to poke it loose. Habs were not letting the Predators get anything early. Very good play from them. Very complete game tonight, in my opinion. Veleno has a good steal trying to set up Slafkovsky. It does eventually get turned over. The Preds rush. O'Reilly finds Lemereau, and the shot, good pad save, and on the rebound too. Shout out Jacob Fowler. He kept the Canadiens in this one. Demidov turns one over looking for Slav. There's a good stoppage at the to the rush once again. The Predators start to push. Evangelista and Jost with a nice shift out there, but Dobson and Matheson sticking to those guys. That's lovely to see. Habs go back the other way, and another good cycle. There's a chance on net. Loose puck is against the post. Newhook and Kapanen look for it, but Saros makes the save. Marchessault has a rush shot deflected by Dobson out of play. Veleno tries to center to Gallagher, but he just gets tied up. And then, this is where we get the fuckery of the game. Luke Evangelista runs over Fowler, elbows him in the head on the way down. Hudson immediately in there. Evangelista drops the gloves, as does Hudson, but the ref's right in there. They saving Evangelista's bacon. And, the Habs go to the power play as a result. They don't want... obviously, they don't want one of the biggest stars in the NHL to drop the gloves with someone like Lane Hudson, so... No, for real though, just basically telling Hudson, hey, you're getting the power play, you don't gotta drop the gloves. As much as that's probably appreciated by the team, don't drop them. And yeah, as much as I'd love to see Hudson drop the gloves, I don't want him to risk injury, so yeah, thank you, Hudson, but holy shit. But yeah, again, the Habs go to a power play with 15.8 seconds left. Evangelista does get the 2 for goalie interference. The Preds clear. Hudson comes in quickly. There's a cycle, but no shot, unfortunately. Shots are 9-3 for the Canadiens. They have a 1-0 lead after the first period, with 1:40 of power play time to start the second period. In said period, the Preds do clear early. Habs can't get set up. They finally get a cycle with about 30 seconds left. A Hudson slapper gets held. Slav goes poking, and Haig shoves him down. There's no call on the roughing. Habs are 0 for 1 on the power play. There's a perfect shot gloved by Fowler. A pass is too far for Cherrier, and good D ends up breaking that up. Deneau with a very good stick there. Demidov goes poking at some pucks. There's a long shot in front from Newhook. The rebound is loose, and they score! Off a scramble, Newhook gets it to Kapanen, who's right in front of the blue paint, and he makes it 2-0. It trickles in at 3:12. Kapanen scores from Newhook and Hudson. You love to see it. Saros can't glove down the initial shot. He can't go out to get the rebound. Newhook tries to bury it himself. He ends up just gathering it, gets it to Kapanen, who does get it home, and the Canadiens have doubled their lead. Habs do ice the puck right afterwards. The Preds push. Howell slashes Gooley. There's no call, and then they get involved with each other. A couple cross checks in front of the net, and after a whistle, here we go. Evangelista and Evans get in there. It's a scrum. Everybody's got a partner. A couple of these happening early in the game, and the refs are going to gain control. The Habs go to a penalty kill at 4 minutes in. Evans is the lone man. He gets called 2 for a rough. The refs wanted this game to avoid getting out of hand, and surprisingly, they actually would. They would manage to control the game. It doesn't surprise me. It's the late March now. It's late March. Both these teams are hunting for a playoff push. They don't want to spend 25 minutes engaged in fights and scrums and giving each other 7 power plays. It's not like an early November game where it's like, well, I mean, this game doesn't really matter right now. Screw it. Let's just go out and, let's have some brawls, This game is very important for both teams, and it makes sense that they would clean it up after the refs basically probably tell them, hey, we're going to only call one, and your team might not like that, so knock it off. And aside from, I think, one other scrum later on, they would avoid any big-time physicality, which, fair enough. The Habs get a clear early. There's a good stick. Suzuki gets found on a 2-on-1. He passes to Veleno, and it's deflected by Josi. A very, very good stick there by Roman Josi. And, unfortunately that gets stopped. And then there's another 2-on-1. Suzuki finds Kapanen, or Suzuki's with Kapanen, I should say. He elects not to pass. He shoots it, and it's gloved down. Fowler then has a good glove on a Howla sharp angle rush shot. Gouli uses the boards to clear. Lamoureux finds Howla in the slot, and that goes off the post. Deneau gets the clear right after. Habs are 1-for-1 on the penalty kill. It's at this point they pointed out Anderson was not on the bench when we came back from commercial. We weren't sure if it was a hit or anything. It would be confirmed. Andy got the shits, basically. Anderson has a bug, so unfortunately he was done for the night. I think he played like 5 minutes, if that. So he might have actually been gone as soon as the first period. But yeah, he apparently wasn't on the bench to start the second, and he wouldn't finish the game, so... yeah, hopefully it's not a super nasty bug, and it's just one of those where it's just, okay, well, I can't play right now, I'll be good in a couple days, It's just one of those where, it just doesn't take you out for too long, but it doesn't make you feel like shit, but you just know something's wrong. Hopefully it's one of those types, because those are probably the better ones to get, rather than just crippling in pain 24/7. So yeah, and this might be a good rest for Anderson too, as we near the playoffs. It might be good to get him some rest, even if inadvertently. So yeah, we'll see if he's good to go tomorrow. I imagine it's Texier that draws in for him. I can't imagine they're going to play Line, unfortunately, but we shall see. So yeah, Haig has a look and a deflection. Good save by Fowler again. Struble cross-checks Evangelista in the face. Everyone gets a partner, and shout out Struble. He's not letting his guys, he's not letting his goalies get run down, and yeah, the Canadiens would go after Evangelista a little bit, mostly on hits, throwing them a little bit harder than they normally would. Matheson, I think I mentioned in my notes, but in case I didn't, Matheson had 2 pretty good hits on Evangelista. I think it was in the second period. Yeah, I did mention in my notes a little bit later on. The Canadiens were not afraid to go after Evangelista a little bit harder than they usually would, especially because it's their goaltender that he knocks down, and love the boys defending their players. Even if it's not with a fight, you just throw them a little bit harder. So yeah, Struble with the cross-check. He does get called. Surprisingly, it's only 2, thankfully. So yeah, the Habs do go to a penalty kill just about 8 minutes in. So we'll see how the Canadiens, or how the Predators, I should say, respond to that. Suzuki has a clear off the boards. Evans can't clear, but Matheson does shortly after. There's a shot wide. Kapanen hustles to get that out. And then Kapanen clears again at center, or the middle of the ice, I should say. Ofko turns it over. Evans finds Veleno in a break, but the shot is just wide. Veleno had a good game, in my opinion. He had a couple breaks. He looked noticeable at points. I thought Veleno had a respectable game on the fourth line. I have no issue if they're going to play him in this fourth line penalty kill role. Maybe not necessarily enough to bring him back next year, but for the rest of the season, he's not going to hurt your team. Defensive guy, respectable fourth liner. Sure, he's on a now 14-game pointless drought. Oh, spoiler, he didn't get a point tonight. Wow, who would have thought? But actually, with the amount of short-handed chances the Canadiens got, he actually could have gotten a couple points tonight. But I think Veleno's okay, You should probably have Fleury next year in that role, so that's going to be exciting. So yeah, Veleno unfortunately just shoots that wide. Preds press, Lamoureux goes to the net, and the shot is saved. Habs with the clear again. They're 2 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. Habs' penalty kill was very, very good until the weird thing in the third. We'll talk about that later. Foreshadowing again. Ooh. Caufield has a good rush. The shot gets blocked away. And then there's a 2-on-1. Caufield with a nice toe jag as he fakes the pass. And off the post, Caufield almost makes it 3-0. That would have been awesome. Mr. Saturday Night hasn't shown up tonight, but he starts to look good here. We'll see if he does. Gouli and Wood get engaged in the corner. Congratulations to the new couple. Habs rush. Evans has a shot held by Saros. Demidov with a nice hit on Afko. Habs do go offside, though, on that play. Skahan has a slapper stopped with the pad. Matheson, this is where he has the 2 hits on Evangelista. Habs do avoid an icing, but the Preds say, hey, here you go, here's one, and they ice the puck themselves. There's a Hudson shot that gets gloved down. Veleno gets knocked down in the corner after that follows a near sharp angle shot. Preds end up icing one with 5:52 left. They do get out of the zone, but the Canadiens get right back in. Their top line press. Off a board battle, Suzuki finds Caufield. He has Slafkovsky wide open. Takes the shot himself. Mr. Saturday Night. Mr. 45. Cole Caufield gets his 45th goal of the year with 5:15 left. It's a very nice shot. Again, off the wall, Suzuki just gets it. Almost in the right of the left circle, the right side of the left circle. Caufield just goes 5-hole, and it's 3-0 just like that. Cole Caufield scores from Nick Suzuki. Caufield is now just 1 goal back of Nathan MacKinnon with 0 empty netters, by the way. Preds look to push. Evans has 2 turnovers, one of them looking for a very smart no-look to the line, but does knowingly give it right to Jost. There's another cycle, and they score. Alex Newhook, just a minute and a half later with 3:37 left. Demidov hits the post on a good passing play. Second chance. Newhook in the slot. He gathers it, and he puts it home. Newhook with his 11th of the year makes it 4-0 Montreal from Demidov and Kapanen. That's basically going to seal the game. You're not scoring 5 goals on Jacob Fowler. We'll see how many of the Predators do get, if any. There's a good top-line press after Slav loses his stick and kicks a puck to Suzuki. Habs do press. There's a Slav one-timer. That's a no-go. Demidov gave him his stick, which is a couple inches short, so unfortunately he couldn't score. That would have been awesome. There was a press that gets covered by Saros. 55 seconds left. The Preds go offside after they recover a turnover. And here we go. Off a save by Fowler. Gouli punching Evangelista. Evans then gets taken down by Haig. Everybody's got a partner. And we'll go to 4-on-4. With 24.9 seconds left, it's going to be Caden Gouli and Reed Schaefer. It's Nick Haig. Nick Haig gets called for the shove on Evans. Gouli is called for roughing up Evangelista there. So we get some 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. That should open the ice up. We'll see if either team can take advantage. Nashville pushes, but a turnover by the Canadiens. Matheson up the ice finds Nick Suzuki. It's a 2-on-1. The shot does get saved with 0.7 seconds left. That would have been awesome. The Habs have the 4-0 lead after the second period. Shots 23-15 for the Canadiens as well. They're looking like they might run away with this one. In the third period, there's a look in front. Suzuki from Caufield, but a great pad save by Saros. Suzuki left completely all alone. No clue what they were thinking on that one, but yeah, leave a guy who can score 30 goals wide open. Bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it works. Surprisingly, it actually did. Technically, they made the save. Demidov finds Matheson, who of course tries to do it all himself. He turns the puck over. 3 minutes in, the Ole Chants have made their way to Nashville. Mind is blown. Love that. Gallagher goes offside on a no look. Habs were playing very good early in the third. Again, a very complete game. They weren't slacking defensively. They weren't phoning it in offensively, just hoping they can get a couple goals. They were playing a very complete game. Fantastic defense. Very good looks offensively. Good play in the middle. Weren't afraid to get into puck battles. They were playing a very full 60-minute game. And this is the only thing that's really going to be the deterrent for the Canadiens potentially is being able to consistently play a full 60-minute game down the stretch and potentially to into next season is that they need to be able to do this a lot more consistently than they've been doing. I get they're a young team. It's completely normal that they don't know how to play as a unit this consistently, but they're going to learn. They're going to figure it out, I'm sure, at some point, and who knows? This game could be the start of a really good stretch where they're playing great consistently, but again, we shall see. Evans gets knocked off a puck. Gallagher picks it up, but the shot gets saved. A very good look there. Preds ice a puck at 5 minutes after a little bit of back and forth. Fowler behind the net turns a puck over, but does get a net to stop in time to stop an Evangelista's chance. There was a misslashed on the play on, I believe it was it Mike Matheson? I think, who had a slash. No. I think it was Noah Dobson. I think it was his D partner, Dobson, who had a slash. This is at the point where Sportsnet says that Anderson will not coming back tonight. That is right. They said that he will not coming back. So, unfortunately, Anderson does not cometh back into the game. But, yeah, just a very, very funny text from Sportsnet there. Habs ice a puck at 7 minutes. That's after a Stamkos break. He gets checked off the puck. Good sort of trapping hockey by the Canadiens. A very modified trap. There's a quote from, I believe it's Gary Galley, quote, "You don't..." Oh, Jesus. Quote, "You don't want them coming through five guys. You don't want it spreading all over the ice." I'm not going to give any context. We're just going to move on. Caufield with a nice breaking the D play, but I thought it was Weisblatt with a good stick to stop that. I assume that was probably Afco. Back the other way, Lamoureux finds Marchessault, but the shot is broken up. Habs with a good rush off a draw. Deneau finds Gallagher, and the shot is deflected out of play. Preds come in off a turnover. O'Reilly in front, and a great save by Fowler to send it over the net on the one-timer. Demidov strips Schkane on the break. That gets gloved down by Saros. Damn it. Preds press UC with a really good hold at the line off of two attempted clears. Habs do get it back and eventually carry with good speed off of a line change. The Habs do get called for a hand pass 10 seconds later. Caufield has a good look off from Evans with the pass, but the pad save by Saros and the Preds recover. O'Reilly then gets found out of nowhere on a nice one-timer. That gets saved by Fowler as well. Preds are trying to wake up. Fowler has a quick hold to stop any potential momentum that Nashville might be gaining. The Habs do look. Evans tries to find Gallagher, but that's poked. And with 5:36, the Habs go to a penalty kill. Lamoureux with a late hit on Evans. He doesn't like it. He slashes at the back of Lamoureux's skates, and he gets called for it, unfortunately. Evans, one of the few Canadians who didn't have a very good game, unfortunately, tonight. There was a couple turnovers in the first and second that were very unnecessary. And unfortunately, just not a good game for Jake Evans, which honestly, he picked a good one because the rest of the team showed up. He picked a very good game to have a bad game. He does not have those types of games very often, if at all. Which, I'm not going to criticize him and say he's been horrible because of that. Just one bad game, let it go, and just move on to the next one. So, yeah, I do like him defending himself from Lamoureux, though. I am very happy about that, even if it does mean we go to the penalty kill. Habs with a rush shorthanded. Deneau finds Valeno, but that's just wide on the tip. Damn it. There's a long shot from the line, gets gloved by Fowler with a screen in front. Habs try to cycle, but off a skate. Habs get the clear. Gooley then uses the glass to clear from behind the net off of a turnover. Habs clear again. And late, they score. Yeah. Out of nowhere, Zachary Lamoureux scores. They said it was on the power play, on the penalty kill, But now on NHL.com, they're not saying that it's a power play goal. So the Canadiens are 3 for 3 on the penalty kill, I guess. Yeah, so what happens is that AFCO just dumps it in, going for a line change. It takes a very weird bounce behind the net, off the stanchion, right in front. It just trickles like off the side of the net, right in front. Lamoureux, he's the only one who sees it. Fowler doesn't even know. He thinks that the puck's getting dumped around, and the Canadiens are going for it. He's basically given a wide open net to Lamoureux, who just puts it home, and unfortunately, the shutout bid for Jacob Fowler ends with 3.5 left in the game. It's 4-1. So thankfully, not a game where it's tied up, and that gives Nashville the lead. Habs are up 4-0, and that goal makes it 4-1. So thankfully, not a very crucial, much-needed goal for the Preds. It's more just confidence booster at the end of the game. Yay, I'm Zach Lamoureux. I think my 14th career goal. I think he had like 10 last year, something like that. At least I think he did. But yeah, just Lamoureux scores late, and that's a very fluky bounce. That's going to be on Weird NHL next time they upload one, I'd imagine. So yeah, the Canadiens, I did list it as being 2 for 3, but I guess they're saying it's not a power play goal now, so the Canadiens end up 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. That's always nice to get the penalty kill numbers boosted a little bit. The Preds try to press. There's a Schaefer look that gets blocked by Struble. Bolduc ends up clearing, and here we go. So Dobson, with a reverse hit on Lamoureux, he doesn't like it, and he goes after Dobson, gives him a slash, takes off his helmet. Lamoureux's a fucking joke in the NHL. Yeah, just a piece of shit that this guy is, and yeah, Habs go to the power play to end the game with 1:55 left. Lamoureux's given 2 for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct, so that's very funny. Yeah, Schkane clears. The top line's out for the Canadiens, by the way. They want to get Caufield, number 46. Schkane does get a clear. Habs try to cycle. There's a look for Caufield, but it gets saved and then cleared. Second unit comes out to end the game. Newhook comes in with speed, but there's a Bolduc shot wide, and that's all the way down with about 7 seconds left. That ends it. The Habs, unfortunately, over 2 in the power play. The final shot's 32-24 for the Canadiens, and they get the win 4-1 in regulation. A beauty of a game, a complete game by the Montreal Canadiens. A much-needed win. Definitely much-needed win. Even though they are on a very nice 4-game winning streak, again, with how tight the playoff race is right now, if you can bank as many points as you can now, that's going to be very helpful. If they can win another 3, for example, that's really going to help them. And actually, technically, that would put them at first in the Atlantic, assuming Tampa and Buffalo both lose their next 3 games. But regardless, yeah, the Canadiens now a great record of 41-21-10. These guys should be able to make the playoffs. There's a 0% chance they're going to get to 50 wins, though, because they would need to go, 9? They'd have to go 9-1-0, and there's a 0% chance that's happening. Or 9-0-1, they could also go with that. Or technically 10-0-0 if they want to get 51 wins. So yeah, 45 should definitely still easily be hittable, because they just have to go, 4-6-0 to hit 45 wins. The Canadiens realistically should be able to make the playoffs now. Yeah, the Canadiens with the big win tonight. For the Predators, a huge loss as they really wanted to take this one, but they're not going to get it. The Canadiens do. Let's get into the stats. And then let's get on out of here. My mouth is saying, what the hell are you saying, brother? So yeah, let's do it to it. Nick Suzuki obviously leads the Montreal Canadiens with 24 goals, 64 assists, and 88 points. Cole Caufield's got 45 goals, 32 assists, and 77 points. Lane Hudson, 11 goals, 60 assists for 71 points. He is on an 11-game goalless drought. Oh no. Juraj Slafkovsky with 28 goals, 35 assists for 63 points. Ivan Demidov, 16 goals, 40 assists for 56 points, along with 4 points in his last 3 games. Shout out. Noah Dobson, 12 goals, 34 assists for 46 points. He is on a 13-game goalless drought. Oh no. Oliver Kapanen with 22 goals, 15 assists for 37 points. Mike Matheson with a 6-goal, 28 assists, and 34-point campaign. He is also on a 13-game goalless drought. Zach Bolduc with 11 goals, 17 assists for 28 points. Josh Anderson, who I guess is technically injured? I guess? I don't know if you consider it an injury. Outdo the illness, we'll say. There we go. Don't complicate it. 13 goals, 9 assists for 22 points. Jake Evans and Alex Newhook, each with 11 goals and 11 assists for 22 points this year. Alexander Carrier with 7 goals, 15 assists for 22 points. Brendan Gallagher, 6 goals, 16 assists for 22 points. Alexander Texier, 8 goals, 12 assists, 20 points. Still a 6-game pointless drought because he hasn't played. I would imagine he draws in if Anderson can't go tomorrow, so yeah, we'll see if he snaps it or if the streak reaches 7. Kirby Dach, unfortunately, still hurt. 8 goals and 6 assists for 14 points, along with 1 point in his last 6 games before he got hurt. Philip Deneau with 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points, and a 5 goals, 6 assists, and 11 points with a 9-game pointless drought. Jaden Struble with a goal and 10 assists for 11 points. Caden Gooley, 2 goals, 8 assists for 10 points. Sammy Blais, before he got sent back down, 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Joe Veleno, 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points, as well as a now 14-game pointless drought. Arbor Jacki with a goal and an assist for 2 points, as well as a 27-game pointless drought. Owen Beck had a goal and a 7-game pointless drought before he got sent back down to Laval. Patrick Laine, Florian Jacki, and Jared Davidson, who are both still in the AHL, all have an assist this year. Arbor Jacki obviously leads the Canadiens with 7 fights. Josh Anderson and Jaden Struble each with 2. Brendan Gallagher, Kirby Dach, Caden Gooley, Joe Veleno, and Florian Jacki each with a fight this year as well. Jakub Dobesh obviously leads the Canadiens with a 24-8-4 record, a 2.83 goals against average, and an 8.98 save percentage. Again, he's so close to that 900. Next game he plays, you would think he should be able to get to at least a 900. Fingers crossed, obviously. Samuel Montembeault with a 10-8-4 record, a 3.43 goals against average, and an 8.72 save percentage. Jacob Fowler with a 7-5-2 record, a 2.59 goals against average, and a 9.03 save percentage, along with the lone shutout for the Montreal Canadiens this year. So yeah, that is going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you're on Amazon, Spotify, wherever you might be listening to the podcast on. Yeah, that is going to... also please don't forget to share the podcast with anybody who you think might enjoy it, such as a fellow Montreal Canadiens fan, a hockey fan who's maybe looking for a Canadiens podcast, or someone who you think just might enjoy listening to some fat kid from Quebec talk about the Montreal Canadiens for 30 to 40 minutes after every game. So, yeah, that is again going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe again. That's your second reminder. Again, that is going to do it. And always remember, no matter how good we are like last year, how pretty good we are like this year, or how great we're going to be like in the future, go Habs go, Allez Montreal, and say with me everybody, C'est la vie!